Hey, this is Kit Cabello of Heartlands Media. Our continuing coverage of the People's Summit in my hometown, the city of Chicago, is going on. And already we're meeting so many people. Today we are joined here with Sam Ronan. Thank you for joining us here. So what brings you here to the People's Summit?
Honestly, I'm trying to represent the Our Voice organization I started right after my DNC chair race. And I'm also here on behalf of my exploratory congressional run in OH1 against Steve Shabbat. I'm trying to make connections, make sure that we start working together and that we see the big picture. And I feel like, based on all of the great people that we've seen, yourself, Jordan Sheridan, and I just saw Nomiki around here somewhere, all of us are here. We're the people that are leading the charge forward. So I think there's going to be lots of good work to be done today.
Now, it's quite clear that corporate media and the corporate establishment Democrats are still holding on to power, and they want people to fall in line. But there needs to be reform within the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Ideally, what needs to be done so that the Democrats become the party that was once known as FDR's party, that was fighting for populist programs that got us out of the Depression?
Now, to be perfectly honest, what we need in order to achieve that is actual mentorship, a transition of power. The reason why they're called the establishment is because they're the established powers. They've been there the longest. That means they know how the systems work, the committees work, the parliamentary antics of Congress and the Senate and so forth. They know how that all works. Their platforms might be outdated, but that's where we come into play. Teach us, the next generation, what you know, so that we can replace you in a nice cycle of transition of power, rather than make us fight you. We are natural allies. It's just we are fighting each other instead of working together because they want to hold on to power and we want to strip them of power. When what we really all want is a transition of change. We want to make a difference in our country. But the way we're going about it, or rather the way they're going about it, is by ignoring us completely and demanding that we toe their line rather than embrace our enthusiasm and idealism, our growth and our strength and our numbers, and mentor us to take charge. So that's how we fix it.
Now, there are organizations like the Justice Democrats, for example, that want to fight for and put in progressive Democrats to reclaim the party so that we can do something about the Trump administration policies, but also deal with the corporate Democrats at the same time.
Right.
Essentially, what are the challenges that you have seen, especially since you ran for DNC chair? What challenges do you think that the Justice Democrats and other progressive parties will have to deal with when dealing with the corporate Democrats?
So it's the same problems we're facing as a grassroots movement, right? They have money, they have power, they have influence, they have connections. We arguably don't. And it's not that that matters, it's that we don't have our own support structure. We don't have our own network. And that's why I started Our Voice, because what we need is some sort of an umbrella organization where all of our efforts, the Justice Dems, Brand New Congress, Green Party, Dem Enter, Dem Exit, where we can all work together and collaborate. So that, say we have Justice Dems, Brand New Congress, and,
Green Party or Socialist Alternative.
Right. So we got 4 people running for the same office, right? If one of them gets it, those other 3 remaining candidates need to be down ballot. Right? We need to not fight each other and only go after the pie. We need to go after every single slice beyond. And until we do that, until we do a down ballot and horizontal strategy, we're going to continue to face the same problems. We cannot go toe-to-toe with the Democrats. We can do it singularly, right? Like the Tim Canovas and Nina Turners of the world, they can do it. But you, me, most of the people here, right? We're going to need that support. And until it exists and until we develop it, we're going to have to continue either building slowly from the ground up, or we're going to have to just embrace the fact that we just need people that we can depend on and back in these races. And until we do that, we're going to see very small marginal victories. Now, we have had victories, right? We've proven that we can win at the state and at the local level, and that we can reform the state and the local chair, the local parties. Now, granted, we lost the actual chair position, but the party structure itself, we have found time and time again that we can win. So we just have to embrace and acknowledge the fact that we can win. We have to focus on our victories to date and focus on growing them even further in our networks.
Well, it's quite clear that since Trump was inaugurated, people are becoming more actively involved. People are more awoke with how corrupt and how systematically destructive our government is currently being. Now, you served in the United States Air Force. I served in the United States Marine Corps. So first, thank you for serving our country.
Absolutely.
But in regards to this, especially in regards to how our veterans are being treated, not only by the Trump administration, but by corporate Democrats, what needs to be done to really, bring them also to the table too? Because a lot of their rights are being denied and being cut as well.
Now, this might be a little biased because we're both military, but we need to just be involved again. And I know exactly why we're not. You were enlisted, I was enlisted, right? We don't want to put up with the BS. I won't say bad words. But
You can. This will be on YouTube. So.
Oh, this will be on YouTube. We don't put up with this bullshit. We just don't. In the enlisted force structure, it doesn't matter what branch you're in. We do not play these games. And we don't want to put up with these games. To us, we just want to get in there, do the work, do the job, and move on to the next task, right? I mean, as an airman, I was maintenance. So I was very task-oriented. By the book, this is how I do my job. And the fact of the matter is, Congress and all these other elected positions, they are outlined in the Constitution of the United States or in the state or at the local levels. And we're just not doing it. And so we found that over the course of, decades, less than, 11% of people have even a military background. Enlisted or officer notwithstanding, we just don't have any engagement. But what I've noticed is that there's this rising influx of veterans involvement, like the Veterans Stand at Standing Rock. Lots more veterans standing up and running for office or taking, roles in their parties. It's because we've led. It's because we've done this kind of thing before, and we're not going to bend or break. We have stood our ground our entire careers, our entire lives. We're exactly what we need in this country right now in politics. We're not going to play these games. We're going to do what's right, because that is what we swore an oath to. And I don't recall my oath ever being rescinded. Was yours? No. Exactly.
Never that. But I think this is a question I've been asking a lot of people here, and I'm going to ask it to you as well. What do you want to say to people who are just perhaps sitting down in their homes, not wanting to get involved, or perhaps feel that their vote or their impact in a movement doesn't matter? What do you want to say to those people who are just standing by?
Awesome. So to those of you who might be watching at home who feel like your vote doesn't matter, your voice isn't being heard, 46.9% of the country didn't vote. Out of 270 million people in this country who can vote, 46.9% didn't. And now we have Trump. If you don't like Hillary and if you don't like Trump, you could have single-handedly chosen Jill Stein or Gary Johnson or literally anybody else. The thing of it is, we haven't been civically engaged because we've been led to believe for so long that these politicians are the best and the brightest our country has to offer. Well, guess what? If that's the best and the brightest they have to offer, then it is sincerely lacking. And people like you and me are the ones who need to step up. It's not easy, it's not pretty, and it's not glamorous. But whether you run for office, whether you help phone bank or raise or canvass or whatever, it makes a difference. Taking action and initiative is how we overcome money in politics. Because why do we spend money in politics? Ad buys. If we had 1,000 volunteers in each campaign knocking on doors, we wouldn't need money. We wouldn't need money at all, and you would be guaranteed to have your candidate fight for your values. So that's what it takes. That is what is the difference between you sitting in the couch and twiddling your thumbs or wringing your hands and saying, how can I get involved? Why isn't this enough? And going out there and doing it. It's that first step. And if you want to know how to get involved, look at the hard lens. Look at Our Voice. Look at the things that the People Summit are doing. Just find it. Google it. How do I get involved in my local community? It is that easy.
All right, well, that's a perfect note to end it on. Thank you for joining us here at Hardlens Media. And we're going to still keep on covering the People's Summit, but let's all do what we can to build a better future. Peace.